Tonight on CTV News at 6. Standing together to send a message.
To put more pressure onto the government and onto the employer to bargain appropriately.
The union representing workers at Extendicare York in Sudbury speaks out about stalled negotiations. And a focus on workforce challenges.
It's becoming increasingly more difficult to recruit people to positions within communities.
The Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities hears concerns about attracting qualified candidates. Plus, teeing off for a good cause.
Healthcare is a combination of some of your own money, a lot of federal government, provincial government money, and fundraising, and so we're doing our part.
A charity golf gala raises critical funds for the hospital in North Bay.
CTV News at 6 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Police in Sudbury have arrested 2 people following an assault downtown last night. A 42-year-old woman was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries after being attacked with a baseball bat at the Energy Court encampment. A 17-year-old has been charged with aggravated assault. A second person was also charged with obstruction and accessory after the fact in connection to the incident. Police in Timmins have closed Honor Beach and Road for an evidence search in the area. This comes after the beach was closed last week for a search by police. The road was closed today, and we're told it will remain closed tomorrow. People are being asked to steer clear of the area while the investigation is underway. OPP in Temiskaming Shores took one person into custody last night after a man was seen carrying a gun. Police received reports of a person at a local establishment carrying a gun in the waistband of his pants. Police were able to seize the gun and arrest the 31-year-old Hamilton man without incident. He faces 6 different firearms charges, including carrying a concealed weapon. Erratic driving helped police in Sudbury recover a stolen car yesterday. Police received reports of a speeding car making U-turns and cutting other drivers off in the city's downtown area around 11:30 yesterday morning. Around the same time, police received a report of a stolen vehicle from outside a business at Notre Dame Avenue and Kathleen Street, which matched the description of the speeding vehicle. Police located the vehicle abandoned on Bruce Street and found the driver just after 1 p.m. A 30-year-old man faces 12 charges, including drug possession, theft, and driving while under suspension. Police in Sudbury have arrested 12 people and laid close to 200 criminal charges in relation to 100 shoplifting incidents this year. The 12 people were charged between June and August after police say they were able to identify several individuals who were repeatedly targeting businesses in Greater Sudbury. Police are encouraging businesses to continue reporting retail theft incidents online and to provide any available evidence such as surveillance footage and suspect descriptions. Union members held an information picket in front of Extendicare York in Sudbury today to draw attention to what it calls stalled negotiations. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
Who's got the power?
We got the power!
What kind of power?
Union power!
It's a highly visible information picket in front of their place of employment.
To put more pressure onto the government and onto the employer to bargain appropriately.
Members of CUPE Local 1182 work at Extendicare York, a private 288-bed long-term care home in Sudbury. The previous contract expired more than 7 months ago.
Workers are dedicated to their job and to the people that they serve and work for, and they deserve respect. They deserve to have a process that is not drawn out. They deserve to be respected.
In an email to CTV News, Extendicare says it values the work of its team members and is fully committed to negotiations, saying leadership at Extendicare York continues to support our team members in delivering the high-quality care that our residents and families count on every day. CUPE 1182 is one of 8 locals across Ontario participating in central table bargaining with Extendicare. The group wants to see an increase in wages comparable to those at not-for-profits.
We still don't get paid as much as some of the other places like the hospital and Pioneer Manor, the municipal home in Sudbury, we don't get paid as much as they do. So we do have issues that way.
Critics say profits for the provider have come at the expense of workers.
They care for people just as much in a not-for-profit than they do in a for-profit. But the number one goal of a for-profit long-term care is to make money for the shareholders. The number one goal for a not-for-profit is to provide high-quality care.
The Ministry of Long-Term Care says it does not own or operate long-term care homes and is not a party to labor negotiations. Despite having worked without a contract since the end of last year, no new dates for bargaining have been scheduled. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Time for our first check on weather, and hold on to your hat. The wind seems to be picking up out there. Let's bring in CTV's Tony Rima to tell us if it's a sign a system is on the way.
Yes, it is, Marina, and good evening, everyone. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in place for the Latchford area along with Temagami, and that's supposed to be in effect until 8 this evening. So heavy rain, damaging winds, possible hail, so we're keeping an eye on that. But for the most part, the rest of the broadcast region, sunshine, and things are going to get a little bit more unsettled. We have that system that's, wow, things just kind of aren't working for me today. I can tell you, though, unsettled conditions overnight, a chance of some showers. And then tomorrow, again, unsettled conditions, sun, cloud, and rain. More weather details later in the show. Marina.
All right. Thank you for that, Tony. Special Olympians are returning to Northern Ontario with some extra heavy luggage. It was a warm welcome as athletes touched down at the Sudbury Airport yesterday, bringing with them a combined 5 medals from the national competition in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
We had a team of 5 athletes that went. We had 1 in powerlifting, 1 in 10-pin bowling, 2 in bocce, and 1 in swimming. There's only 2 athletes that did not get medals, but the whole process of getting to nationals on its own is a merit, right? So they did all awesome.
It was good, lots of training, lots of time in the gym, but it was worth the time in the gym.
It's different, very different than being around family. I was nervous at first, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it was fun.
More like meeting new friends and stuff, sharing stories, all that.
My dad taught some training for me to do there to advance my game for next year.
There were more than 40 Special Olympians from Northern Ontario competing in Alberta last week. Congratulations to all of the athletes. And still to come here on CTV News at 6, a new survey finds financial stress is taking a toll on the majority of Canadian students. Plus, Ontario braces for the impacts of looming U.S. tariffs. How are municipalities preparing?
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Some breaking news out of Timmins this hour. Fire crews are battling a blaze at the corner of Bruce Avenue and Crawford Street in South Porcupine. Drivers are asked to avoid the residential area. We'll have more on this as information from fire crews becomes available. In other news, there are enormous financial pressures facing students at the post-secondary level. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more on a new report that outlines just how stressful it is.
This campus will soon be jam-packed with students who are balancing their demanding academic calendars with managing financial stress.
Terrible. It's not fun.
Trying to make ends meet can be difficult.
Rent, food.
The high cost of tuition, books, food, and housing is making life overwhelming for many students.
That's how it's going for the next, however long we have in our lives.
A new study shows 76% of post-secondary students say financial stress is negatively impacting their well-being and academic performance. 20% are more stressed about money than school. 23% don't know how to build and maintain a budget.
I think it's the worst that we've seen in quite a while.
There are steps being taken to help. The St. Mary's University Students Association is offering free groceries for anyone who needs assistance.
All of that is a lot of strain on their mental health, and then they have to worry about the 5 courses that they're taking.
Financial planner Daryl Smith says more young people are coming to him to learn basic steps to manage cash flow savings at a time when costs are rising.
It starts with a budget, and if kids are going out to be adults on their own at a young age, they have to kind of create the budget.
The survey also showed 89% of students hope to learn about investing. Many of the students we spoke with said even though they don't have money yet, they hope to learn how to manage money and plan for the future as they continue university. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
A new study by the Federation of Northern Ontario Mayors and Stakeholders is putting a spotlight on the workforce challenges facing municipalities across northeastern Ontario. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
The survey was launched at the Phenom Conference in Timmins in May. 61 municipal representatives responded, most from communities with fewer than 5,000 people. The study was prompted by concerns that municipalities are finding it difficult to fill positions critical to delivering local services.
It's becoming increasingly more difficult to recruit people to positions within communities.
94% of respondents reported challenges attracting qualified candidates. They indicated that senior management, public works, and finance were the hardest positions to fill.
It's always been real easy to replace people in. More and more municipalities are having a hard time.
The pressure isn't limited to smaller communities. The survey found mining and other public sector employers are among the biggest sources of competition.
We especially feel it in areas where we find ourselves competing with industry, and so especially positions in the trades, our public works, our heavy equipment operators, mechanics, electricians.
3/4 of municipalities have increased salaries or adjusted pay scales to stay competitive. But Plourde says that comes with consequences.
Those services become more expensive to us, and so the cost is really to the taxpayer, and it just becomes more expensive to offer those services.
The report calls for better training and certification opportunities, salary benchmarking, recruitment resources, and succession planning. Below says municipalities may also need to look at how they're funded to compete for workers.
As long as we're running our municipalities using only the tax base and based only on property taxes, we're always going to have this challenge.
Phenom says it will use the findings to continue discussions with the province on solutions to the growing municipal labour shortage. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Meanwhile, mayors from across Ontario were talking tariffs today as the deadline for a deal between Canada and the U.S. is just hours away. CTV's Judy Trin spoke with municipal leaders, including Sudbury's mayor, in this report.
In big conference rooms and small breakout groups, the threat of new sweeping U.S. tariffs generates anxiety. It also steals resolve.
And I think we have to stand and show a strong face as we negotiate this trade deal.
The mayor of Niagara-on-the-Lake says his municipality will take a hit from the new 50% tariffs, which are set to come into effect. 20% of the region's wine are sold to Americans. But Gary Zalepa says the region has learned to adapt.
We're seeing great resilience in our tourism sector, our agricultural sector as well. We've had more investments by local companies.
The mayor of Sudbury says Canada should not give the U.S. first dibs on access to Northern Ontario's critical minerals to secure a trade deal when there's demand from other nations that play by the rules.
Having tariffs brought on, or the threat of tariffs brought on, will not change some of the supply chains that have already been established. So I think it's a threat that is being brought in to try to negotiate other concessions by the government. I don't think it's necessary that we use this as a lever at this time.
Municipal leaders want more interprovincial trade barriers knocked down faster, so energy and goods can flow east to west. In the border city of Sarnia, there's support for the Prime Minister to fight back against the U.S. and even walk away if necessary.
I respect the Prime Minister. I understand his game plan. I understand his strategy. But you're not dealing, in many cases, with reasonable people. And as Canadians, we're reasonable. So If these talks fail, it will be very painful for Canadians. There's no question. But I'd rather have the pain and emerge to a better day where we're more sovereign as a country and more independent.
Even as they urge the Prime Minister to continue putting his elbows up, the mayors at this conference acknowledge that hard-hit businesses will require financial support from the federal government if this trade war is prolonged. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Back we go to Tony now for a check on the current conditions this Tuesday evening. Tony, do we need an umbrella out there just yet?
You might bring one with you, Marina, if you're heading out for a walk. Let's take a look at our current temperatures. They're not all that bad out there. In through Timmins, yes, you need an umbrella. It's 20 degrees, some light rain, much the same for Cochrane, Moosonee. A mix of sun and cloud, 20 degrees at this hour. In through Kapuskasing, 21. For Chapleau, 21 degrees, a little cooler. In through Wawa, 18, 21 for Sault Ste. Marie. As we head on over to Parry Sound, beautiful evening shaping up, mostly sunny, 25 at this juncture. And we're going to head north in through North Bay, 22 degrees. For Timiskaming Shores, well, 21 with a mix of sun and cloud, and Kirkland Lake 17 degrees as that system moves through. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in place for Latchford, Temagami, and that's going to continue until 8 this evening. In through Greater Sudbury, beautiful 24 degrees, much the same for Espanola, and a little cooler in through Elliott Lake, and 21. Your 7-day weather forecast is still ahead. Marina.
All right, thank you for that, Tony. Next on CTV News at 6. Reaction from Tumbler Ridge, BC, as the former school struck by tragedy is torn down. And a Sudbury student receives a prestigious award by the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame. It's down to the wire for trade talks between Canada and the United States, with just hours left to reach a deal to avoid another round of punishing U.S. tariffs.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done. Thank you.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump spoke yesterday about the ongoing trade negotiations, but there's no word on whether the two sides are any closer to a deal. If no agreement is reached, the new tariffs will take effect tomorrow. The new 50% levies would be on a variety of goods and could impact billions of dollars worth of Canadian exports to the U.S. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is calling for a deal between the U.S. and Canada, one that reduces tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, lumber, and auto components. Senior Vice President Neil Harrington issued a statement. It reads in part, "The introduction of higher tariffs would damage both economies, drive up costs for U.S. families, further disrupt critical supply chains, and risk the 13 million American jobs that depend on trade under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement." He went on to say that a deal that at once significantly reduces tariffs on imported Canadian steel, aluminum, lumber, and auto components, returns American wine and spirits to Canadian shelves, enhances Canadian market access for U.S. dairy producers, and addresses Canadian retaliatory tariffs, would be a benefit to American consumers, producers, farmers, and manufacturers. To the Strait of Hormuz now, the crucial shipping channel that remains under dispute. Yesterday, an unidentified ship was attacked while trying to cross the passage. Meantime, President Trump has threatened longtime U.S. ally Oman. After that, country held talks with Iran about reopening the strait. And today, Trump posted an image of the strait with a banner reading "New U.S. Territory." It came hours after Trump slammed Oman and said the U.S. would bomb the country if it, quote, gets in the way.
I don't think they behaved very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do others.
Iran effectively closed the strait in February following Israeli and U.S. attacks, shutting down shipping of about 1/5 of the world's oil supplies. Iranian officials say the strait will remain closed until the U.S. meets its demands. A social media giant faces off against a coalition of states in a U.S. courtroom today. Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, is accused of designing its platforms to be addictive to children and misled consumers about safety. Parents of victims spoke outside the courtroom.
Coco was 12 when she opened Instagram for the first time in 2017, 4 years before the world learned what Meta already knew. Instagram was harming teenage girls. By her teens, she could not look away. Her scrolling became depression, then anxiety she could not escape. In that isolation, an adult man found her on Instagram, groomed her, lured her to meet him, and sold her what she thought was a Percocet for her anxiety. It was fentanyl.
Prosecutors point to features like infinite scrolling, constant push notifications, and algorithms that manipulate users' feeds. 29 states are involved, with California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey leading the charge in court. Meta has denied all the allegations and has estimated it could face penalties of more than $1 trillion if it loses the case. 6 months after the devastating mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC, demolition is now underway at the secondary school where the tragedy unfolded. CTV's Martin McMahon has more on how the community is reacting.
An emotional milestone. Demolition has now begun at Tumbler Ridge Secondary, the place where 6 victims were killed just months ago.
I think our community is in different stages of grieving and hurting. And, you know, when I communicate with a lot of the families that have lost loved ones, I think, you know, I won't say this helps with their grieving, but it puts them into a different stage of that. So to me, that's significant.
It was on February 10th when former student 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootselaar entered the school, fatally shooting 5 children and 1 adult. Now the building is being dismantled.
In a way, it feels like it's been a long time in coming. On the other hand, it's only been 6 months since this tragedy. And so I think what I sensed when I was in the community this morning and from reading some of the comments online today is just a sense of relief that the building that was the site of this tragedy will be removed.
The teardown comes after the school district asked the province to build a new school following consultation with students and the community.
To see these young youth and children and then the teachers go through that, to me, it's whatever they want. And I think that's what we see. Majority came forward stating that they wanted to see the demolition of the school, and it's happening.
There really was a clear message from the community, and especially those that were touched by the tragedy, that they would like to see this building removed and a new school facility at a new location be built. And so we're thankful that there was that clarity and that we're moving forward with that now.
The school will be torn down in phases continuing through the fall, with details on an eventual permanent memorial still to come. Martin McMahon, CTV News.
And there's more news ahead, but first, let's get the details of your full weather forecast with Tony Rima and, of course, some cooler temperatures that are setting in. Tony.
Yes, Marina, you are spot on when it comes to that. On our forecast radar, pockets of activity. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in place just south of Timiskaming Shores in through Temagami and Latchford, and that's going to continue until 8 this evening. That by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Then we're starting to get some clearing in through tomorrow. Some shower activity just south of Chapleau and other northern communities. So that's going to be off and on over the next few days. As we take a look at our systems map, we have this trough that is moving through and also high pressure that is building in from the prairies. As a result, we're going to get unsettled conditions, overcast skies, some rain, a risk of thunderstorms. We'll get some clearing, and the temperature's not all that bad as that high moves through our region. Taking a look now at our overnight conditions in through Sudbury, 11 degrees, and a chance of some showers, much the same for Sault Ste. Marie. Timmins, not double digits, as a low 9. Some rain expected in through Timiskaming Shores and North Bay, much the same. Moosonee, this is what you can expect. 9 degrees, a chance of showers in through Cappenhurst, partly cloudy. For Wawa, 9, also some precipitation expected. In through Gorbea and Manitoulin Island, 14, and a little warmer in through Parry Sound, and a risk of thunderstorms. Okay, let's take a look at your 7-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Tomorrow, sun cloud and 60% chance of rain, spot on temperature-wise. Carbon copy in store on Thursday. Friday, still unsettled, and look at Saturday, Sunday. Just rain, unfortunately, but the temperature is going to tick up on Monday, 21, and a little more sunshine, which is rather nice. Heading on over to Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, mostly sunny tomorrow, 23 degrees, a little warmer on Thursday. However, increasing cloud cover, a chance of precipitation. Take a look at the weekend. Some clearing on Sunday. Monday looks rather nice. For Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing, the next few days, unsettled to say the least. Friday, you get a tick up in the temperature, 24, then it drops only 16 as a daytime high on Sunday. Monday, clearing and 19. For Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lakes, some showers expected tomorrow. Temperature spot on this time of year. Then the temperature drops on the weekend, 16 only as a daytime high on Sunday. Monday still cloudy, and Tuesday a mix of sun and cloud. And finally, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing, sun, cloud, and a 40% chance of rain. More precipitation expected into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, still overcast, but take a look at Tuesday, 21 degrees when it should be 23 this time of year. And our picture of the day comes to us from Solange, and she is from Chelmsford, and she says beautiful scenes along the lazy Whitson River. Thanks so much, Solange. You can send your weather pictures to us at weather.pictures@bellmedia.ca or click on the QR code. There's more news still ahead.
As some wildfire evacuees come to terms with what they've lost, misinformation experts warn that bad actors are trying to profit from the devastation. CTV's Penny Daflos has more on the predatory tactics.
The explosive Bald Range wildfire captured international attention with its displacement of thousands of Summerland residents. It's also been an opportunity for content creators to cash in.
Province that had already spent everything it had.
On YouTube and social media, there are multiple accounts citing BC wildfires as they try to build audiences.
Hit like and subscribe.
And online traffic.
If they can find a way to package and use some events to create a viral moment where people watch this, then they will make money. Some of these accounts, some of these channels are actually all created through AI.
Some of the content has a watermark or tiny label indicating it's created by artificial intelligence. There's no contact information for these particular accounts, which include misleading statements.
These AI videos and copy posts and all that sort of stuff, like they'll fool anyone.
The forest minister is frustrated by the trend.
I get a lot of words for people who make time out of their days to be able to confuse and scare people. They have way too much time on their hands, and there's a special place in hell for them.
Aside from the profit motive, natural disasters and emergencies are also opportunities for bad actors and foreign governments to plant misinformation or boost talking points that are beneficial to them.
It creates a story that the government is unable to provide help for Canadians.
For example, CTV News has been tracking the spread of posts questioning millions of dollars in Canadian aid to Ukraine, suggesting it could be used to buy water bombers here.
That usually kind of start to smell like how Russia would do this and warrants further investigation.
Online misinformation is on the Premier's radar.
I want to recognize the challenge of some of the misinformation that can circulate very quickly in the absence of official photographs, video, and so on that people can rely on, and especially in this era of AI imagery.
We are doing everything we can to give transparent and as close to real-time information on any of our fires.
A particularly important time to focus on official information rather than questionable online posts. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Now to a new warning from police about trackers. The devices are used to help find keys, wallets, even pets, but can also be used by criminals. More from CTV's Alexandra Hollick.
Whether they're attached to your keys or stored in your suitcase, smart trackers are designed to find your belongings in seconds. But in the wrong hands, they can be used for something far more sinister.
As a stalking device, by putting it in someone's purse or in their jacket or in a vehicle, and then tracking the motions of that individual.
The device is easy to get and doesn't cost much, but police warn it could put someone's privacy and safety at risk.
We could see it in criminal harassment cases where perhaps intimate partner violence may be an issue, or any type of person-on-person crime. It could be used in a situation where maybe a vehicle is being tracked to see when it's being unoccupied as an opportunity.
This is one example of just how small these smart tracking devices can be, and drivers are urged to check their vehicles for unknown tags regularly. This tracker could be found in here, behind here, in here, or under here.
When people are putting these things into a vehicle, they're not there for a long amount of time. They kind of want to be in and out quickly. So that's why it's anywhere that's quick accessible, but also hidden at the same time.
Sometimes your phone will notify you if an unknown tracker is nearby. As for where you can be tracked,
geography doesn't really matter. That tag is wherever it is, if it's placed on you, it can essentially follow you around the world.
If you do come across a tag, don't panic and don't touch it.
Pull over somewhere safe, somewhere well lit, somewhere where there's lots of people, and notify the police.
There could be information on there, or depending on where it was located, it helps the investigation.
A smart solution to try and stop bad actors in their tracks. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
The Canadian Medical Hall of Fame has awarded 15 students across the country who demonstrate outstanding potential as future leaders and innovators of healthcare in Canada. And one is in Sudbury. CTV's Madison Merrier caught up with him today.
Mohammed Alzaran is a second-year Nawsum University student. He's being recognized nationally for his efforts in ensuring Northerners have equal access to healthcare.
This is great and have a bit of a platform to show light on some of the stuff that we're kind of dealing with in Northern Ontario. And again, these are my future plans, just to keep on giving back and just remembering what the community has already given me and my family, and hopefully that will be my drive to the future.
Alzaran and his family came to Sudbury as Syrian refugees when he was 17 years old. And he says Capriel opened its arms to his family and he wants to make the community proud.
I could never imagine that I would be receiving this award so early on in my clinical practice, only 2 years into med school. And again, I also feel at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of responsibility that comes with winning such an award, just because you get a nice platform that you can use now on, like to shed attention to different stuff that you're interested about and you're passionate about.
During his education, Alzaran co-organized the Syrian Canadian Blood Donation Day and helped lead the Northern Ontario PPE campaign during the COVID-19 pandemic. But beyond his volunteerism, he has also been previously recognized for a research project with a doctor from Sault Ste. Marie.
We found there is stigma, but we also found some encouraging stats, which contact actually helps reduce the stigma for the care providers. So the more contact the physicians and the nurses spent with mentally ill patients, and more frequently they've seen these types of patients, the lower the stigma levels that they reported after.
Alzaran says he plans to finish up his education and residency at Nawsum University while gaining local experience to one day become a physician up here in the north. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
And a brief update for you on the fire in Timmins we mentioned earlier in the show. We have confirmed the fire is in an apartment building. Bruce Avenue has now been closed east of Crawford Street as a result of firefighting efforts. Coming up here on CTV News at 6, looking ahead to winter sports. A curler originally from Sudbury has been named to the national team program. Tony Rima chats with Kira Brunton after the break.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
The sun is still shining and the summer temperatures are in the 20s, but several people in the Northeast are now thinking of a cold weather sport, curling. A competitor originally from Sudbury but now living in Ottawa is part of Curling Canada's national team program in mixed doubles. To talk more about this, let's bring in Kira Brunton. She joins us from Ottawa. Hi there, Kira.
Hi.
So you and Jacob Horgan of Sudbury have been named to the national team program as a development team. What does that mean?
It's essentially athletes under 30 combined age for our team. So we were selected because we previously were in the National Next Gen program, and we applied this year to be in the NTP program, and we thankfully were accepted into that. So.
And what does that mean as a result of this appointment? Does that mean more travel, more training? Give us a sense.
Yeah, no, it opens up a lot of doors for us. So we essentially get access to more funding. We get access to integrated sport funding as well. So we're working with dietitians, sports science people, trainers, things like that. So the off season has been a lot of moving pieces, getting things organized, and working together with a team to get prepped for the season.
And Kira, you're no stranger to the national stage. You've played in other national championships. What does this mean for you as a curler in this sport?
It's essentially one step closer to making this a career. So a lot of curlers, we'd call us working professionals, and then we do curling on the side. So being in the national program kind of allows us to take another step into curling and to make it a little bit more of a priority.
And the sport has certainly ramped up, if I can say that, right across the country and around the world. But you're not the only curler from Northern Ontario named to the national team program. You know, everybody knows Brad Jacobs, Tracy Fleury, you know, Ryan Harnden on Matt Dunstone's team, Tanner Horgan. What does it mean to have those northern connections in this program?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the development that we do in Northern Ontario from a young age. You know, there aren't very many of us, but those of us that are there, you know, are competing against some of the best in Canada more often. And, you know, growing up with Jake and Tanner, we were kind of always on the ice together, practicing together. So you build that level of camaraderie between each other, and their success means that you're pushing harder because you want to succeed too. So I think a lot of that has to do with having, you know, Brad Jacobs or Tracy Fleury, Kendra Lilly as role models growing up. They show you that it's possible to be from Sudbury and to compete and do well on the national stage.
How true. Kira, thanks so much for your time and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
Kira Brunton joined us from Ottawa, and to read more on the teams named by Curling Canada to the national team program, head to the website curling.ca.
Toronto Maple Leafs star player John Tavares was in a face-off of a different kind today, taking the stand in a tax court case over his deal with the team. More from CTV's John Woodward.
I would like to be at my cottage today.
A relaxed John Tavares joked with reporters Tuesday outside a tax courtroom in Toronto, where he was testifying about the $77 million deal he inked in 2018 to come back to his hometown and play NHL hockey as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Scores John Tavares!
The deal's $15 million signing bonus attracted the attention of the Canada Revenue Agency, which says he owes about $8 million in taxes on it. Tavares is appealing.
Just, you know, prove what the contract was all about and the intentions in signing it and everything that went into it. So overall, you just hope everything, you know, can work out in my favor.
Tavares already paid American taxes on the signing bonus, but the CRA says because it was paid out over several years and came with strings attached, that signing bonus is actually employment income and should be taxed at a higher rate in Canada.
What's behind it is really about how do you treat the signing bonus? Is it normal wages or is it something distinct and different?
In court, Tavares described the negotiations behind the deal in detail, saying Toronto's general manager, Kyle Dubas, sent him a text message just 1 minute after he was eligible to talk to other teams. He described one key consideration, the contract's annual average value. Toronto agreed to his ask of $11 million a year.
One country is getting that tax.
Accountant Kim Moody says a Canada-U.S. treaty caps taxes on signing bonuses, and whatever the judge decides could have a big impact on whether Canadian teams will have to factor in an employment tax on bonuses to lure players north of the border.
Will this have fallout impacts that are negative against Canadian teams? And I think that the answer to that is for sure it will if the decision falls in favor of the CRA.
As for Tavares, he said even if he gets a big tax bill, he doesn't regret coming to Toronto.
I wasn't counting every last penny, but obviously I wanted to maximize my opportunity along with where I was going to live as I was looking to start a family soon.
He said returning to Canada was never really just about the money. John Woodward, CTV News.
Sudbury's International Film Festival Cinefest is just a month away, and part of the lineup has now been released. Last year's winner for a female-led feature film, Melanie Charbonneau, returns to Cinefest with a new movie, Les Furies. This Canadian feature follows an upstart underground roller derby team seeking revenge for the lost ice time of their community's local women's hockey team. There's also Star Suckers, which was shot in Sudbury. It follows an influencer couple whose retreat weekend for their top fans turns into psychological warfare. And the closing gala for this year's festival will be The Only Living Pickpocket in New York. The film stars acclaimed actor John Turturro as an aging pickpocket trying to survive using his trade in a digitized world. You can get a sneak peek of these and many other films on Cinefest's website. The festival runs from September 19th to the 27th.
Entertainment is brought to you by Super Big Money TV Bingo. Join us this Saturday at 6:30 on CTV.
There's a pair of movie and music heavyweights working together to bring a hit 90s film to Broadway. David Daniel has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby.
10 Things I Hate About You is headed to Broadway. A musical based on the 1999 fan favorite film is in the works. Lena Dunham is working on the book for the show, which is set to debut next August, and Carly Rae Jepsen is working on the music and lyrics. Amy Schumer is finding the laughs in Splitting Up. Variety reports she'll produce and star in the comedy Best Divorce Ever, about a couple aiming for an amicable split while keeping their happy family together.
I'm not trying to get out of the marriage. I'm trying to get back in. We do high highs and really low lows. The fights are gonna be spicy.
Here's your first look at season 4 of The Diplomat. Actor award winner Kerry Russell returns in the title role of the political drama, which premieres on Netflix October 15th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
There were fewer Canadian home sales in July compared to how many changed hands a year ago. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
Sales dropped over 5%, but the national average price moved up a fraction. The Canadian Real Estate Association puts that price at just under $675,000. They say markets are starting to even out, meaning regions that once favored sellers, like the Prairies, Quebec, and the East Coast, are balancing. So is the Ontario market, which had favored buyers. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar's up a fraction to 71.96. West Texas Intermediate's up to 84.94 US a barrel. Western Canadian Select up over $2 to 66.66. And the TSX dropped 299 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down 82.88, closing the day at 43.3367 US an ounce. Silver down 2.47, nickel down a penny, and copper down 2 cents. Nickel ending the day at 7.53 US a pound. Tony's back now with one last look at the weather for Wednesday.
Thanks for that, Marina. We have, guess what, some rain for you tomorrow. Let's check our forecast starting with Sudbury. Sun, cloud, and a chance of some shower activity coming in at 23 degrees. And through Timmins, a little cooler, but still some precipitation on the way. Sault Ste. Marie looks beautiful tomorrow, 23 degrees, mostly sunny. As we head on over to North Bay, sun, cloud, and some rain, 40% chance of precipitation. Parry Sound 22, and some showers, and Temiskaming Shores also 22, and some rain. Marina.
Thank you, Tony. Well, finally for us tonight, a long-standing competition and gala to raise essential funds for medical equipment at the North Bay Regional Health Centre teed off today in Calendar. CTV's Eric Tashner hit the links to bring us this story.
With the swing of a club, over 150 golfers teed off, like they do every year, in a golf tournament and gala, raising money to boost local health care.
When you support our hospital, you're supporting the health care of each and every person in our community, your friends, your family, your loved ones.
Co-founded 29 years ago by former Ontario Premier Mike Harris and the late Peter Minogue, the founder of Osprey Links Golf Course.
It's kind of special for me. And helps me remember Peter Minogue and all that he's contributed.
The tournament raises close to $100,000 each year. Title sponsor Farraco Canada contributed $10,000.
My wife works in diagnostic imaging at the North Bay Regional Health Centre as well, so it goes towards something that she's near and dear to.
The hospital foundation will use the money to purchase an additional ultrasound machine and make upgrades to X-ray and fluoroscopy. A $3.8 million project.
What that means is reduced wait times. Also, it helps us attract medical professionals like radiologists who will be employed as part of reading these scans.
The tournament and gala comes at a time when hospital staff continue to see patients coming in for care with more complex conditions at a younger age.
Things like cancer and diabetes starting in people's 30s and 40s, not 60s and 70s. And so those are some of the things that our hospital staff work through each and every day.
The hospital can match a $1 million donation from FDC Foundation if it raises $500,000 before New Year's Eve. This is in addition to FDC Foundation's initial $500,000 gift towards the project.
Healthcare is a combination of some of your own money, a lot of federal government, provincial government money, and fundraising, and so we're doing our part.
With generous golfers giving back to their hospital. Eric Tashner, CTV News, Calendar.
And it looks like they had great weather and a fantastic turnout. That is all the time we have here on CTV News at 6. Amanda Hicks is in at 11:30 tonight with your late local news, so tune in then. Thanks for watching. I will see you again tomorrow. Good night.